A new year coming up, a new season, a new chapter, a new quarter. And the first thing that we want to be thinking about is, what's the vision? The Bible talks about writing a vision, making it plain, and really being absolutely clear, intentional about what it is that we do, where it is that we're going, who it is that we want to become. And this session is really based on the three pillars: your vision, your belief, and your action. Okay, but when we look at the word vision, and when we really dissect what a vision is literally what you want for the future, and you want that to come into the present. And so I want you to have a think about right now is, what does your future look like when it comes to the personal goals that you have? What is the vision? Now, when we look at a vision, we have a long-term vision, okay, and that could be 5 years plus. Okay, then we have sort of like a midterm vision, which could be in the next year. And then you could have like a quarterly vision. All right. But one of the things that happens in between vision and belief. So let's say, for example, you say that my vision is to become a coach. My vision is to become a chairman. My vision is to become a business owner. Okay. The next step from having the vision is then to have the belief system on the back of it. And I think from belief to action is where most people fall short, is where, we've fallen short. And one of the things that I had to really do is to dig deep into where my belief system changed. And, feel free to comment in the chat box if you've ever had situations where you don't really know where that concept came from, but a certain type of way that you think isn't naturally the right way. So I'll give you an example of this. One of the ways that I used to think is that if I had massive success, or if I was doing something that created wealth or something that made me look good, I couldn't share it with anyone because it would make me look like a show off, or it would make me a target. Has anybody ever diluted their successes or not shared how well they're doing because they felt like they're going to be accused of showing off, or they're going to be accused, or people ain't really going to understand, or something like that? And I had to dig deep into some of these paradigms that made me into a person that I wasn't. And when I really look back at it, and I've been doing research on some of this stuff, and I've been listening to, really successful people that have had similar conversations, and a lot of them tie it back to when they were younger. Something pinnacle happened when we were younger that shaped and formed our belief system. And so I have a friend that was born into wealth. Parents are mega rich. Riches just ran in the family. Grandparents were rich. And because of that, they saw money, for example, as something that just came naturally, right? And then you have individuals like myself that grew up seeing money as something that you had to fight for, that it was something that we had a lack of, that there was a lack of this resource, and that I always had to chase it. And those people that got it were targets, right? And from a young age, when we were robbed and we had the burglary, I always associated having things and having nice things makes you a target. And so what I then did, not knowing, this is the paradigm that was sewn into me from a very young age. Like, I don't know if your parents ever did this to you, but where they told you, when you go out, make sure your jewelry ain't showing, cover it up. When you're walking down the street, make sure you keep your phone in your pocket so that you're not like these little paradigms. and there's parts of our brain that are designed to make us protect ourselves, right? And there's these protective measures that's been put over us where we say, okay, I can't have this because I'm going to make myself a target. I can't have this. And so, yes, tuck your necklace in because someone's going to rob you. And it's all these paradigms. And depending on where you grew up, maybe that has, never been told to you. But for me, it was all these protective measures, these fear factor paradigms that were put in my head. So even when I did see success, and even when, the property portfolios came and all these other things, I kept it quiet. And I kept the anointing. This is not just even the money. This is the gifting, guys. I kept the gifting quiet. I kept all the blessings that I was given quiet. I kept the purpose inside me quiet. because the assumption was that I'd make myself a target. In school, I used to be that person that had good grades, that could have laugh and joke and always get the good grades. And I got bullied because I was the teacher's pet. And even though I used to mess about in class and be the class clown, I always got the great results. And I've established this in my mind now, that if you do well, you've got to hide it, because you're going to get yourself under attack. Someone's going to attack you. I take it a little bit further than that, guys. What I used to do is this. I used to give money away. I used to share it a lot. If I had from school days, I was quite an entrepreneur. I used to work on the market stall, and I used to share this money out. Even if I didn't even have enough for myself, I used to give away what I didn't have. I saw my mum do it. I saw my grandma do it. And what they used to do is, even though they didn't have much, they used to give away all their money to somebody else, because it made them feel like they were doing the right thing, and it made them feel better. And I realized that my association with money, no matter how much money I got in, it always seemed to leave me, because I didn't feel like I was worthy to have it. And I felt like I'd be a target if I got it. I don't know if anybody understands what I'm saying right now, but sometimes you got to look deeper into your belief system to find out from yourself, why is it that you don't want to live out in your purpose? Why is it that you're not confident in what it is that you're doing? Why is it that you're not bold in who you are? What is it about that belief system that needs to change that allows you to stand tall in the person that you are? And, I really, really had to think, because when you believe, we heard it earlier about having that seed of doubt. Sometimes the seeds that's sown inside of us from such a young age is affecting us today, is affecting the way that we move, is affecting exactly what it is that we do on a day-to-day basis. How many of you have had a lot of money come in, whether a bonus from work, or you get some, rebate or tax rebate or something coming into you, but that money never seems to stay? You think to yourself, okay, when this comes in, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to sort out this, I'm going to sort out that. And no matter what happens, the money's gone again. And you're back in the same situation, if not, worse, or sometimes just the same place. And you're like, well, where did this money go? And it's so much more deeper, guys, than, working out how much you got coming in, budgeting and doing all of this. Sometimes it's a seed that's inside of us that is our relationship with money. Here's another thing. Especially, when I was younger, we would grow up in a church. And as soon as I had the option for myself, I stopped going to church, right? Why? Because I had an assumption of what a church person should look like and how somebody who believes in God should look like. I promise you, I'm going somewhere with it. And so guess what happened now? When I started to work in a bank and I started to have this, this calling over my life, there was a deep, deep gifting on the inside of me. I really didn't understand how I was supposed to get that calling out and still be a child of God. Let me tell you this. How many of you, know church people, or been around church, or been in a church vicinity where money seems to be the root of all evil, right? And you're taught that if you're talking about money, if you're mentioning money, then you're evil. And, people that are rich are evil. And, the money from, like we've been taught this. And then, I went back to church, and I had a really, really good church. And I went in there, I was full of beans, full of life. And I realized that when I started to talk about money, I became a target. And then again, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so I can't mention God, I can't mention the anointing, and I can't mention money, because now I'm evil. Now there is an issue with who I am and what it is. And here's the thing, guys. When we look at these paradigms that need to be shifted, this is why we do the mind work, the heart work, and the phone work. Because if you only do the phone work, like Tosin was mentioning earlier, if you only do the phone work, what happens is you don't feed your mind, and you don't make sure you're checking your heart. And so what we have to make sure that we do when it comes to vision creation is understanding, okay, this is where I want to go, but where's my mind at? What is going through my mind? What are some of the seeds in my mind that's going to stop me or propel me to taking the action that I need to take that's going to get me to the vision that I have? Right? And it's all connected, guys. Sometimes it is definitely not physical. It's not that you're not doing the work. It's not that you don't have the skill sets. It is actually spiritual. It's something inside that's stopping us. And if we all look back into our childhood, into past times, there's always going to be something where someone bullied us, someone laughed at us, someone said something about us. And that then shaped the way that we then do things. I remember so many different examples, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is where it came from. This is the root. This is why, I had the people pleasing tendency where people would take from me, and people would, if you are a giver, guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract takers, right? And I'm not saying giving isn't good. Of course, we're taught to give. But when you give to the point where you hurt yourself, then that's dangerous, and that's people pleasing. And I had to really evaluate myself and ask myself, where does the need to please people so much damaging myself? I heard a saying today and it just blew my mind. Let me tell you this, guys, write this down. Some of us, right, are setting ourselves on fire to keep somebody else warm. And this type of stuff is toxic. This type of stuff is dangerous, guys. Okay, this is so dangerous, because in order for you, we know the saying when you're on the plane, in order to help somebody else, you've got to put your own mask on first before you put somebody else's mask on. And what we tend to do, especially as leaders, we have this heart to serve. We have this passion and this obsession to help people grow. But then we forget to help ourselves. We forget to pour into ourselves. We forget to give ourselves the nourishments and the food that we need. So that's why it's important, guys, to do the work. Okay, it's important to make sure that we are looking at the action that's required and really challenging ourselves to say, where did this belief system come from? Why is it that I'm not taking this action? Why is it that I've told myself that I don't qualify? Why is it that I almost want to, give away the gifting that's on the inside of me? Where did that come from? And what am I going to do to change it? Maybe it is connecting with mentorship. Maybe it is having regular accountability. Maybe it is having that honest conversation with yourself. But some things cannot go into the new season, and we got to take ownership. The best thing I ever did was understand that I had the power to change my life. Each and every one of us have the power and a decision to make that can ultimately change your life. But we have to take the responsibility of saying, okay, I'm going to participate in my own healing. And this is deep stuff, guys. This is deep stuff. When you really begin to look deep and go, wow, okay, why is it that, these are the types of people I hang around? I realized that as a strong individual, I was always hanging around people that were weaker than me, that always needed me. Why is it that I didn't believe that I was worthy enough to be around people that had more confidence than me, more to pour into me, rather than me always being the servant, rather than me always leading? I didn't believe that I deserved that type of network. And so who I attracted was always people that needed me, as opposed to people that could pour into me, as opposed to people that could give me what it is that I needed. And these strange paradigms, okay, when you dig deep into them, it's going to unlock something inside of you that's going to be like, boom, okay, I see where that comes from. I see where that comes from. That needs to go. I need to root that up, because that is not healthy ground. Some of us are building houses on unsteady ground. And we got to have, speaking to somebody the other day, and, we were talking about, friendships, and I had to let a 15-year friendship go, guys. 15-year friendship I had to let go. Why? Because I realized it wasn't serving me. It was just making me feel bad. Have you ever, had conversations and relationships that just make you feel bad, and you're fighting to keep them? You're chasing the wolves, but the sheep that need you are starving because you're out there running after the wolves, And I had to be like, yo, this is toxic. I need to get out. And some of us do it with the mentorship as well. Some of us have mentees that don't value us. Some of us are chasing people and want to beg people to get results that they have to take ownership of for themselves. But in order to have this vision, guys, whatever your vision is, again, we're going to create a collective vision together. But whatever your personal vision is, you got to make sure that you believe it. Because without the belief system, you're not going to take the action. And then it's going to be, some of us, we have these, I call them excuses, these humble excuses. Somebody else can go to the forefront. Oh, I'll let somebody else go. We have these humble excuses that are actually disobedience, right? Humble excuses that are real talk disobedience to the calling. Is actually a disrespect and a dishonor to God to not live in the calling that you've been birthed for, the calling that you've been created for. And what we do is we use humble excuses You know, one of the things for me, guys, I'll be honest with you, is I know that God has been calling me for bigger things. I know that there's bigger missions. And I've been saying, oh, I don't qualify. Why? Because of the seeds that past places have put on me that I wasn't good enough. And I had to really shift those paradigms and just accept there's a calling and a mission over my life, and I'm going to be unapologetic about it. There is a word that's on the inside of every single person, and we have to accept it. And if you accept that there's a calling over your life and you know that you need to walk in it in 2022, I want you to put some 777s in the chat box right now, because I believe that this is going to be the catalyst of our relationship together. This is going to be the catalyst of us moving forward. But we have to be honest to the calling and the gifting that's on the inside of us and stop running away from it. Some of us have gifts that we don't want to let out because of what he said and she said. And we can't do that no more. We can't allow these gifts to die with us. They have to come out. And the people that are needing them gifts, they're suffering because we're not letting those gifts out. And when I look at it at that perspective, as opposed to looking at all the haters and all the people that's going to say, you know, you can't do this and you can't do that. You can't worry about your haters, guys. You can't think about the people that are looking down on you. You got to think about the people that are looking up to you saying, hey, I need the gift. I need your gift. I need what it is that you have so I can live in who I'm being, right? And that's what it is. 2022 is going to be the year of relationships, okay? It's going to be the year of growth. It's going to be the year of confidence, okay? Because part of your belief is your confidence. I hear it all the time. I'm not confident. I'm not confident. How do you become confident? You become confident by doing what it is that you're scared of doing. You become confident by stepping out your comfort zone. You become confident by knowing the truth. What is the truth? The truth is the word of God. The truth is that you've been called for a time like this. The truth is that nations and generations are about to be birthed on the back of you living your calling. That's the truth. Everything else that anybody else says is a lie, guys. I'm telling you right now, the truth is that should we work together over the next 12 months, over the next 18 months, I promise you this, you are going to discover your calling. You're going to discover your purpose. And, you know, then it leads into the action, because when you believe, when you have confidence, when you know where you're going, when you believe that it's done with 100%. Now, let's not get it twisted. Sometimes the vision is so huge. How many of you have ever had a vision from God where God has downloaded something to you and you're like, whoa, whoa, me? You mean them? You mean me, right? Sometimes it's so huge and it will scare the living daylights out of you. Let's be honest. This thing ain't easy, especially if you're called for leadership. It's not easy. But what's easy, everybody will be doing it, right? And so we got to make sure that we are, you know, ready for the call when it comes. We're ready for the partnerships when it comes, the collaborations when it comes, transparency, remain humble, okay? And just ready for the mentorship that's about to take place over our lives. And so I'm so excited about what is going to happen over the next 12, 18 months, okay? I really want to invite each and every one of you to get excited with me. I want to invite you guys to really take this time before the new season starts to write down what it is that you want over the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, I don't want you to write down what you think is possible. I want you to write down what you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work on that belief system to make sure that you understand it is possible. What is it that's going to bring forward the belief system? Confidence. How do you gain confidence? By being in the environment where what it is that you say you want has already been done. By being in an environment where what it is that you said you want is being nurtured. Okay, in the next season, you can't be in environments where your vision is being broken, your vision is being clouded. You got to be intentional about being in environments, being around people that's going to keep nourishing the gifting that you have on the inside of you. It's got to be intentional. You know, one of the things I deliberated on for so long is, oh, but I've known them so long and we've been friends for so long and this has been so long and so long. And that habit needs to be broken. You can't be in situations just for convenience no more. It's got to be intentional. It's got to be for purpose. What's the purpose over your life? And are these things serving you? Are they serving you, and are they serving you well? So I'm very, very excited about, you know, our connection and how it's going to evolve over the next 12 to 18 months. Okay. And it's just going to be absolutely amazing, guys. It's going to be really, really amazing to shift the paradigms, mind work, heart work, and of course the phone work, which is connected to the bank account and the wallet.